Are you looking for a true winter wonderland adventure in Santa's backyard? Rovaniemi, Finland has everything you could possibly imagine for a truly magical vacation. Welcome to Sarah's Scuba and Travel channel. Rovaniemi is located near the Arctic Circle and sits on the Kemijoki or Kemi River, which is the longest river in Finland and where two rivers merge together at the Lumberjacks Candle Bridge. Rovaniemi has a wonderful city center and offers a variety of winter activities. We traveled from Helsinki to Rovaniemi. There are two ways I recommend making the journey. First, you can take a flight, which is approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes, or you can take the overnight Santa Claus Express train. I recommend booking a sleeper cabin. We sprung for the sleeper cabin with a shower and bathroom. The train ride is approximately an 11-hour journey. Depending on your itinerary, you have to decide which is best for you. It was a little challenging to feel rested by the sleep we got on the train, as it made quite a few stops throughout the night, waking us up each time. Also, when the train stops, the electrical outlets shut off, so everything we had plugged in would turn off or light up. They also can't make food in the dining car when the train is stopped. It's just something to be aware of if you decide to go this route. They do provide linens and pillows in the sleeper cabins. An activity that I highly recommend booking is a reindeer sleigh ride. I booked the tour with Sunny Safari. They picked us up from the train station after our Santa Claus Express transport and provided us with all of the extra winter gear we needed to stay warm and enjoy our adventure, at no extra charge. You will notice in this video that I am not loyal to any one particular tour company. I find the tours that I think will be best to meet our interests and needs. Therefore, I will put the links to all of the tours and gear that I think will help you in your planning and packing process in the video description below. I do recommend making all of your reservations well in advance, at least 3 months. After getting our extra layers, we were off to a local reindeer farm. This farm is 400 years old and has farmed reindeer for the last 200 years. As you wait, you may be able to get your first glimpse at some of the reindeer or play with the dogs on site. When the reindeer are ready, you will be led to a loading area at the beginning of the trail, and the reindeer will be brought in with their sleighs already hooked up. You will be assigned to a sleigh and introduced to your reindeer. Our reindeer's name was Mato, which translated to worm. We were informed that he has 2 sons that were also named various names that translate to worm as well. They are the worm reindeer family, apparently. There are a maximum of 2 adults per sleigh. We are not the smallest people and were reassured that our reindeer would have no problem pulling us. Poor Mato. There is a blanket provided in the sleigh which you can put on top of you to stay warm. You will want it. Despite all of the layers of warm clothing, sitting still out here can get quite chilly. The reindeer are connected to one another and are led by staff during your entire sleigh ride. Don't worry, you do not have to do any driving. You get to sit back and enjoy. The landscape is truly magical and surreal. I couldn't get enough of it. You may see the reindeer stopping to grab snow along the way, like this guy in front of us. They are just trying to get a drink. The reindeer do better when it is minus 10 degrees Celsius or colder. This was a pretty warm day for them. They can withstand up to minus 60 degrees Celsius. The ride is approximately 1 hour, and my toes were a little chilly towards the end, but nothing to worry about. You might want to double up on your wool socks for this ride. When your sleigh ride is over, you can take some more pictures with your reindeer. Make sure you thank your reindeer, but do not touch them. They are not domesticated reindeer and are still quite wild. You do not want to get hurt. It takes the trainers 5 years after castration to get the reindeers docile enough to pull a sleigh with people. After your sleigh ride, you will be led into the lodge area where you can use the bathrooms, warm up, and have some hot juice and cookies. One of the staff members at the farm will provide more information about the reindeer and the farm, giving you the opportunity to ask questions. You will be awarded your very own reindeer license with the ear markings for the farm. Each reindeer owner has a different set of ear markings which are regulated by the Reindeer Herding Association. The ear markings are used to identify who owns the reindeer, as all the reindeer in Finland are owned by a farmer, not corporations. The markings can be identified by experienced herders over 100 meters away. The markings stay in the family and can be passed down from generation to generation. If you want to purchase your own marking, you will need to prove you are worthy to the Reindeer Herding Association and purchase all of the reindeer with that particular marking. The reindeer at this farm are released into the wild in April, except for the 30 males used for the sleigh rides. This allows the females to have their babies in nature. In June, the most experienced herders go out and mark the babies with the proper ear markings. Babies stay with their mothers for 1 year, so it's easy to identify the mother and ultimately the farm that owns the new baby. Then in October, all of the reindeer are corralled and transported to the proper farms. However, many reindeer return to their farms on their own for the free buffet. It is important that the reindeer get in, as it can become difficult for them to find food in the winter due to the deep snow. Before you leave the lodge, there are reindeer products available for purchase if you would like to take home a souvenir. Just make sure the products will pass customs in your home country before making your purchase. On your way back to your vehicle, make sure you make a stop to visit the one lone reindeer that enjoys your pets and welcomes some extra snacks. Here is where you can get your petting and selfie fill. The entire tour lasts approximately 3 hours, so you can add an activity like Santa Claus Village to your afternoon, which is exactly where we asked to be dropped off. If you look up Rovaniemi online, one of the first things you will see pop up is Santa Claus Village. This attraction is great if you have children. For adults, you will probably want to make a stop, but you may not plan on spending as much time if you don't have children with you. One site I do recommend is visiting the Santa Claus Main Post Office. Here you can purchase postcards and send them to your family and friends with a stamp from the Arctic Circle. You can also purchase letters from Santa to be mailed for the next Christmas season. There are letters from around the world on display as well. Some nice souvenirs that I found in this shop were coins and notes from the Arctic Circle. I have a collection of money from around the world, and these were a great addition to my collection. There are a variety of other souvenir shops at the village. However, to be honest, they all have about the same things. Therefore, you may want to stop in one or two if you're looking for other souvenirs to take back. Another must stop here is the Arctic Circle, which passes right through Santa's village. This is a great place to snap some pics. There is no entry fee into the village, however, you will pay for each activity you want to do. Whether it is visiting Mrs. Claus in her cottage, enjoying a reindeer sleigh ride, visiting the elf's farmyard, or any of the other activities. Snowman World also charges a fee, but if you are planning to stay at the Arctic SnowHotel, entry into Snowman World is free. You just need to arrange your visit in advance. Santa Claus Village offers a variety of restaurants and hotel options as well. We did not stay at this location. We booked an Airbnb in the Rovaniemi city center. However, we enjoyed a wonderful lunch after a very busy morning. There are a few tour group offices in the village as well if you are looking to book some tours. Sunny Safari does offer luggage storage should you need it. However, please be aware that they charge €5 per bag regardless of the size of the bag. This is also regardless of whether you book a tour with them or not. No freebies for paying guests. The highlight of many people's visits to the Santa Claus Village is to see Santa, of course. There are 2 locations where you can meet Santa. The first is in the Santa Claus office, which is pure chaos. The second is the Christmas house building near the Santa Claus Holiday Village reception and the Three Elves restaurant. However, if you want an easier, less chaotic visit with Santa, I recommend visiting Santa Claus City office and the Rovaniemi City Center. It was a much more enjoyable experience. I encourage you to enjoy some time in the Rovaniemi City Center. There was a beautiful ice sculpted nativity scene as well as an ice skating rink. There are shops as well as a variety of restaurants to choose from. You will want to make reservations for restaurants well in advance. Some of the restaurants I recommend are Rosso, which is Italian food. The wait for food was quite long on a Friday night as they have an all-you-can-eat pizza night. None of us ordered pizza and still had quite a long wait, but the food was very good. Another restaurant is the Arctic Restaurant. This restaurant serves traditional Finnish food and was very good. If you are looking for a traditional Finnish restaurant, I recommend Ravintola Nili. Here you will have the opportunity to try dishes like bear soup and reindeer. If you are looking for a unique dining experience, I recommend booking a dinner igloo at Gustav Kitchen and Bar. However, I know sometimes you don't want a fancy dinner after a long day of activities. Therefore, I recommend Turk and Pippery, which is located in the city center by Rosso. This place offers pizza, kebabs, burgers, and more at reasonable prices. If you are looking for a breakfast spot, I recommend Hostel Cafe Cody. They offer a decent breakfast buffet. We were staying close by and ate there every morning. Let's talk culture real quick, as eating out was a very different experience in Finland than in the United States. In Finland, there is not a rush to get you in and out the door so they can seat another set of guests. Therefore, you may start to become impatient with the time the service takes. After being seated, it may take some time for someone to approach the table. When they do, they are expecting to take your drink and meal order at the same time. The food can take some time to arrive, and when it does, do not expect the server to return to the table to check on you to make sure your meal is okay or if you need anything. So make sure you ask when the food is delivered. With that, once you are done eating, they may take some time to return to see if you want dessert. If you want your check at this point, make sure you ask as soon as the server returns to the table. Otherwise, you may be waiting for quite some time before you can get anyone's attention. Now, this may not happen everywhere you dine. However, it occurred quite frequently during our visit. This is a cultural difference in dining, so I'm just giving you a few tips to make the process go a little smoother for you. Gratuities or tips are not required or expected in Finland. However, they are very much appreciated for dining service and tour guides. With the increase in tourism, the Finns are starting to learn more about tipping. It is starting to enter its way into their culture. Another activity that I highly recommend while staying in Rovaniemi is snowmobiling. I booked the snowmobile safari into the Arctic Circle forest with Wild Nordic Finland. I was able to arrange pickup from our Airbnb in the Rovaniemi city center. The Wild Nordic Finland office is across the street from Santa Claus Village, so it is approximately a 20-minute drive. Upon arrival at their office, you will be outfitted with the proper gear to make sure you stay warm during your ride. Once you start riding, you will not want to stop. This tour gives you approximately 90 minutes of riding time with the opportunity to stop and take pictures. We got lucky that at 9:30 a.m. when we were ready to start our ride, there was a beautiful sunrise. That's right, 9:30 a.m. Remember, you don't get a lot of sun around the Arctic Circle each day. It is truly beautiful on a clear day when the sunshine is visible. The snowmobiling trail will take you through a beautiful untouched forest. Enjoy the exhilaration of the ride and the beauty around you. When making your reservation online, you can purchase a single rider supplement, which I highly recommend for everyone who has a valid driver's license. You can also purchase a €15 liability waiver for each person. If there are 2 people on a snowmobile, each person needs a waiver. You can also purchase this liability waiver in person at the shop when you arrive. I recommend buying the waiver to cover any damage done to the snowmobile during your ride. As long as you follow the safety procedures and keep a safe distance, you shouldn't have any problems. However, if you do not purchase the waiver and damage the snowmobile, it will cost you €900 per accident. That can really put a damper on your vacation. Purchasing the waiver removes this financial risk, and you can enjoy your ride without any worries. We were a group of 5. We got lucky and had a guide to ourselves. This made the ride much more enjoyable too. When the ride is over, they will transport you back to your pickup location. If you want to show your thanks, I'm sure your guide would appreciate a tip. If you are looking for more activities in the beautiful snow-covered forests, I recommend booking a tour in Korouoma Canyon. I booked a snowshoeing tour with Lapland Welcome. Upon arrival at the shop, we were fitted with warm clothing at no extra charge. Then we drove southeast for approximately an hour and a half to the Korouoma Nature Reserve. This is a beautiful drive, so enjoy the scenery. Once you turn off the highway, the road conditions do get a little rougher. The only bathrooms available in the reserve are the ones located in the parking lot area, so you might want to stop and use the restroom before you get started on your hike. On the day of our hike, it was considered a warmer day and the snowshoes were not necessary. They would have just slowed us down and made the hike more difficult, so we left them behind. As you make your way into the reserve, you will pass a small cafe that offers food and beverages, as well as an escape from the cold. As you continue down the trail, you will come to a point where you can pick up the Korouoma hiking trail and will need to decide if you are going to complete the 5-kilometer loop or the 1-kilometer trail. If you take the shorter 1-kilometer trail, it is the last 1 kilometer of the 5-kilometer loop. We opted to do the whole loop, which took us through the untouched forests past frozen streams. If you decide to go on the 5-kilometer loop like us, it is recommended that you complete the loop in a clockwise route. As you walk through the forest, you will see beard moss covering the trees. This moss only grows where the air is pure and clean. Beard moss is very sensitive to air pollution, so you often find it in oxygen-rich areas. You are breathing some of the cleanest air in the world in this reserve. Reindeers love this moss, and it may be part of the snack you feed the reindeer at the reindeer farm. You will arrive at your first downhill path. Beware, these areas can be slippery with ice. Take your time and hold the rope railing, or have some fun and slide down on your bottom. Get in touch with that inner child. Eventually, you will come to the first set of frozen waterfalls. There are 7 named waterfalls in the canyon. You will see 6 of them on the long trail. The 7th waterfall is only accessible during the summer when the ground is covered in blueberries. As you continue on the trail, you will eventually find yourself at the bottom of the canyon next to the large boulders and another frozen waterfall. Ice climbing is a popular sport in this area. You may see climbers on these frozen waterfalls during your visit. We had the opportunity of meeting these climbers as they were leaving the park and found out we were among a celebrity. One of the top climbers in Finland was there that day. As you continue down the trail, you will come across 2 more large waterfalls, Mamutu and Ruskaverta. You will notice different colors in the frozen waterfalls. These are the various minerals in and on the rocks. If you decide to complete the 1-kilometer short trail, you will only experience the Ruskaverta waterfall, unless you continue on the trail, which goes against the clockwise recommendation, so don't go too far as you will find yourself having to try to climb up slippery inclines. Eventually, you will come to a fire area. Our guide made a nice fire and we ate a nice meal of hot juice, water, sausages with buns, and more. After your meal, climb the steep hill back to the parking area. There were quite a few people in the park the day we visited. However, it is important to be aware that there are not any rangers on site. Cell phone coverage is very poor in the canyon. Emergency services are 25 minutes away. Make sure you plan accordingly and have the proper supplies with you. Also, remember the days are shorter in the winter. It gets dark around 3 p.m. Make sure you have lights with you and don't rely on your cell phone. It may be low on battery after capturing all your memories. The ride back to Rovaniemi is another hour and a half, so plan on this being a full day activity. If you are looking for an amazing winter wonderland experience, I recommend booking a tour to the Lempäverä Amethyst mine in Pyhä-Luosto National Park. I booked this tour with Arctic Circle Snowmobile Park. They picked us up from our Airbnb and we drove for approximately an hour and a half to the parking area. Here we were picked up by the Amethyst Pendolino to take us to the top where the mine is located. If you are going to attempt this attraction on your own, make sure you purchase your tickets online in advance, as you will need to reserve a seat on the Amethyst Pendolino. The ride is slow and easy, which gives you the opportunity to enjoy the scenery. Before getting to the mine, you will make a stop at the cafe. There are toilets available behind the cafe. They are chilly, but the only ones available, so use them if you need to. There are some souvenir options in the cafe as well. After a short stop, you will load back into the Pelladino and head up to the main entrance. At the entrance, you will be greeted by the mine staff. Take a few moments to enjoy the views at this high elevation. Do not disturb the trees. The large amounts of snow actually protect the trees from the cold. Make your way over to the mine area and look down into the valley to admire the forest below. When the staff are ready, they will lead you into a warm cabin where they will provide you with information about the mine. After a short presentation, you will be allowed to enter the 2,000 million year old open-air mine. They claim this is a sustainable mine with little digging, removing only 300 to 600 kilograms per season. Beware, there are quite a few steps you will need to traverse to get down into the mine. You will be provided a bucket and digging tool. Spread out and start digging. You do not have to break the rocks open. You are digging the large rocks out of the way to try to find purple pieces. If you find one with a black line and half white, this is considered a better stone. The black is created by natural radioactivity. At the end, the staff will identify which are the best stones to keep, letting you take a few stones home with you. After your dig, make the climb out of the mine and make a stop at the gift shop to purchase additional amethysts and amethyst products. The mine does not sell its amethyst to companies. They sell everything themselves. If you happen to find a large amethyst like these, you will have to pay additional money to take your find home with you. It looks like these individuals forfeited their finds. Enjoy a little more time capturing the beauty of this location and then load back into the Palladino to make your way back down to the parking lot. If you need a restroom at this point, let your guide know. There is a small town not too far from the national park that is on the way back to Rovaniemi. Then sit back and relax as you make your journey back to your lodging. I have saved one of the best activities for last. This is the Husky sleigh ride. I booked the Become a Husky Musher in Lapland with Sunny Safari. They picked us up from our lodging and got us fitted with warm gear. Then we were off to the Ratola Husky Farm. Upon arrival, you could hear the barking and feel the anticipation the dogs were experiencing, knowing they were going to get to run. The first kennel had a litter of puppies. They were all curled up inside one of their houses together. When they started coming out, it was one after another. I was not expecting 5 to appear from the little house. These girls were named the Mars group and were all named after chocolate bars like Geisha, Twix, and Kinder. Once all of the groups arrived at the farm, a staff member at the kennel gave us a lesson on how to drive the sleigh and how to keep ourselves safe as well as the dogs. Then we were assigned a sleigh. The sleighs are designed for 2 people. One person will ride and one will drive at a time. There is a blanket the rider can use to keep warm. Once the sleigh in front of you leaves, you will be able to release the brake and be on your way. It is incredible how powerful these dogs are. They are Alaskan Huskies. They are bred for transport. Do not expect to have Siberian Huskies pulling your sleigh. According to the staff member at the farm, Siberian Huskies are too lazy and are only good for movies and laying on the couch. You will have 4 to 6 dogs on your sleigh depending on the weights and the combination of the dogs. Most have 2 leaders except for Denny, who insists on being alone. The middle team keeps the pace and the back team are the strongest dogs as they are pulling the most weight. The fastest dogs with a racing sled can go as fast as 40 kilometers per hour. Don't worry, you will not get up to these speeds on your ride. Enjoy the ride and scenery. This activity was one of the favorites among our group. You may see dogs try to grab snow with their mouths or run along the snowbank while pulling the sleigh. They are trying to get water and cool down. The dogs prefer temperatures of minus 15 to 30 degrees Celsius. It was approximately minus 5 the morning of our ride. The staff said it was a warm morning and felt like the tropics to the dogs. I felt so bad. If temperatures get to 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, they cannot run the dogs. In the summer, the dogs do not work. They have a large fenced area where they are free to run and roam. About halfway through the run, you will stop and give the dogs a break to relax and cool down and hydrate. The staff may move around some of the dogs and make adjustments to the teams. Don't worry, there are multiple staff members with the teams at all times to assist if there are any problems or concerns. This is also when you can switch drivers so both people get the opportunity to drive the sleigh and ride. Now I want to clarify that you do not get to sit back and relax as the driver, only the rider. Anytime the path inclines, you are expected to help the dogs by running with the sleigh or pushing as if you are riding a skateboard. If you do not assist, you will get the stink eye from one of the lead dogs. These dogs will do 4 long runs like this one and 1 short run each day, 5 days a week. They run anywhere from 30 to 60 kilometers a day. There is a reserve group to switch out dogs throughout the day as well. This takes a lot of coordination and scheduling of dogs. Unfortunately, your ride will come to an end, and you will have the opportunity to thank your dogs and take pictures. You can pet the dogs, they are very friendly. The dogs are given frozen pieces of meat or salmon as a treat after the run. These dogs burn off a lot of calories, up to 10 kilocalories per day. They are fed raw meat mixed with dog food. Their diets contain a lot of good fat. After your ride, you can warm up inside with some hot juice and cookies and ask the staff member questions about the dogs. I was sad to leave the puppies, but we had more adventures that awaited. I mentioned that we stayed in an Airbnb in the Rovaniemi city center. However, if you're looking for a truly once-in-a-lifetime unique experience, I recommend booking one night at the Arctic SnowHotel. This hotel is located approximately 30 minutes from Rovaniemi. It is made completely out of snow and ice. It is kept at -5 degrees Celsius. There is an ice restaurant, ice bar, and ice chapel on the premises as well. If you don't think you can conquer a night in the hotel, you can schedule a visit to tour the hotel and enjoy a meal at one of their multiple restaurants. For more information about this hotel and planning your stay, please see my Arctic SnowHotel video. If you want to see the Northern Lights, going further north to the Pyhä-Luosto Arctic Resort might be a good option. However, there is a great place to watch the Northern Lights right in Rovaniemi. When you have a clear night with solar wind activity, head over to the Arcticum Science Museum. If you are taking a rideshare, make sure you tell them you want to be dropped off in the parking lot. Otherwise, the rideshare app might navigate the driver to the middle of the highway, which is where I ended up. It was an adventure. Follow the parking lot to the back of the building. Follow the trail through the tunnel, under the highway, and out to the park. This is where you can find a spot to watch the lights. This park is dark enough to see the lights and experience the magic. This was my first time seeing the lights, and it was truly amazing to be able to experience them right there in the city. There is so much to do and see in the Rovaniemi area. We spent 6 days here and could have added more. However, it was time to head north to Pyhä-Luosto. If you're looking for an incredible Finland winter adventure, I recommend adding Rovaniemi to your itinerary. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. If you would like to support future productions, please donate using the Super Thanks button or buying me a snack using the link in the description below. Please join the Facebook group and follow me on Instagram for more content.